Free of Incurable Cancer. Written by Susan Paton. Narrated by Sue Rogers. Introduction. Dear listener, I have not yet met you, but when I heard of your cancer diagnosis, I knew I wanted to write to you. I have a sense of how you're feeling, although we all react differently upon hearing such news. My 10-year journey with lymphoma has been terrifying, fascinating, instructive, humbling, difficult, and rewarding. My intent in sharing it with you is to help you find your path to hope and healing as others have done for me. You may be surprised and unaccepting of some of my beliefs at first, but I simply invite you to consider possibilities and spend some time exploring them. Trust that a healthy curiosity can lead to some powerful insights. Foremost, I suggest that you consider both the body and mind as requiring healing. Illness can serve us by pointing towards unresolved emotional issues and beliefs. We are constantly bathing in the product of our emotional state, both inside and outside of our body. When illness strikes, our first and usually only reaction is to get a diagnosis and evaluate our medical treatment options. We focus on the physicality involved, but it is also vital to explore how our emotional history has contributed to, or caused, our current state of being unwell. We are more than a head and a body, so often seen as separate. Fall 2009. Discovery. What the? I am in the shower and suddenly feel a largish lump in my groin. Now, lumps are never a reassuring thing to discover, but I decide to stay cool and not get too upset. As I'm already scheduled for my biannual mammogram at the breast clinic later this month, I plan to show this surprising new addition to my body to the oncologist there. Yes, I know as well as anyone the breast is a bit far, anatomically speaking, from the groin, but I already have an appointment at that clinic, and I really like my doctor there. So, several days later, while she is examining the top half, I show her the lump. She has many years of experience as an oncologist, and I have great confidence in her. Since she wants me to have an ultrasound for my breasts, she laughingly announces that I can also have my lump scanned. No extra charge. The ultrasound doctor checks me out, top and bottom, and even does a needle biopsy on my newfound lump. He says he sees no problems, but to come back in 6 weeks if it is still present. This I find immensely reassuring, and toast the good news with an evening glass of wine. Nervousness. Over the next few days, however, I take quite a dislike to that little lump, and decide to get it checked out by my family doctor. This is tricky, as my family doc is in the process of retiring. I therefore decide to pay the big bucks and go to a private clinic, quickly, and see a doctor there who has been highly recommended. While I describe the newfound lump situation to her, I carefully scrutinize her face. It is hard to tell if she thinks my situation is worrisome because she is totally poker-faced. But whether through concern or professionalism, she schedules me to have another ultrasound at her clinic the very next day. I can't quite decide if I think this is good news or not. The following morning, I find myself with an older, really experienced ultrasound technician there. He is quite friendly, as he says all seems in tip-top shape, even my liver, which is heartening given my predilection for good wine. Then I ask him specifically about the lump. He had not yet noticed it, as he was concentrated on my abdomen. As he passes the wand back and forth, he gets super excited and suddenly proclaims he is sure I have lymphoma. He proudly points out to me certain oddly shaped cells. Odd, according to him, how would I know? This is my very first time seeing my own cells, of course. He describes in detail why this shape means lymphoma. He appears very pleased with himself for his rapid identification of the problem. But I am stunned beyond words, and just sit there staring at him. What am I to make of it all? Surely cancer cannot be so easily diagnosed, and who has ever received a cancer diagnosis directly from the ultrasound technician? Finally, he is finished, and somehow I get dressed while mentally questioning his competence, not to mention his enthusiasm at sharing his findings. I spend the rest of the evening trying to convince myself he should have retired years earlier. It is such a bizarre event that I am worried but not panicking. I also keep reminding myself that the results from the first ultrasound were negative. 3 days later, I returned to my new family doctor for the results.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?